Hi, my name is Megan and we're talking Elden Ring lore. Let's talk about the Elden Ring. What is the Elden Ring? If you've spent more than 100 hours exploring the Tales, you've probably discovered that the Lands Between is an unfavorable location. For a number of reasons, many gods are interested in a piece of the pie, and their impact has spread across the whole cast of characters and rivals you face on your adventure. The Elden Ring directly relates to a god, more precisely to an outer god, as they are known in the game. The Elden Ring, or anything that would be able to create it, was sent down from the universe into the Lands Between by this god, who was known as the Greater Will. It appears to be a tangible representation of the idea of order that controls the universe and looks to be governed by it. Whether or not humans die naturally or whether they are immortal is determined by the Elden Ring's Great Ruins, which makes up its whole circumference. Due to the shattered nature of the Elden Ring, you must gather these great runes from each of the game's demigods and finally reassemble them in the Elden Ring at the game's end. What great runes you choose to put in, it determines the outcome and the future of the Lands Between. Let's talk about the ERDTREE. So what is the ERDTREE? Both the ERDTREE and Elden Ring are associated with the Greater Will. The reason it's a tree is mysterious, other than the fact that it symbolizes a world tree or life-giving tree, which are common in myth and other forms of fantasy literature. A tangible representation of the Greater Will, the ERDTREE makes for an excellent reminder to all those who truly believe in the Greater Will's sovereignty over the world. The Tarnished capacity to continually revive can be attributed to the tree's ability to absorb the spirits of the dead and return them to life somehow. For most of the game, you can see how the ERDTREE was weakened due to the Elden Ring being shattered, as seen by the dead leaves you find and the many dying husks littering the landscape. There are also the two fingers, so now let's talk about them. Does it seem like we see a trend here with the two fingers representing the Greater Will? The Greater Will has a number of methods for connecting with the humans and animals of the Lands Between without physically going to the planet itself. The two fingers interact with one another by fingerprints that finger readers read, and they effectively teach individuals, including you, the Tarnished, the methods of the Greater Will. They are at the heart of the Golden Order, a significant religion in the game, and they constitute the center of the Golden Order. So now let's discuss why the Elden Lord correlates into the video game. So what is an Elden Lord? To be the Elden Lord is to be the next Emperor in Dark Souls 2, which also had an unclear meaning at the time of its inception. They have existed since the Greater Will came into contact with the Lands Between. They most likely existed before the Elden Ring and the ERDTREE were constructed. You'll explore some of the historical figures and non-figures which have been positions of authority throughout history. In order to keep the Elden Ring and ERDTREE safe, it's safe to assume that the Elden Lord is endowed with the Greater Will's abilities. For the most part, it's up to you whether or not these things are good things or bad things. For From Software, the objective of an Elden Lord is to get you to think why you are playing a game in a universe where there's no need for there to be a person in power and a definite divide in class given how everything played out immediately before you arrived, a subject that runs across all of the industry's games. There is also the Tarnished as the final piece of the puzzle, which is the player that you are playing. So who are the Tarnished? You are the ones that has been soiled, and so is everyone else who participates in Elden Ring. And this is okay within the context of the fictional world that is created by the game. They are just like the chosen undead in Dark Souls. The Tarnished are just a group of humans the Authority can use as a tool in their battles. It seems eerily familiar, I know. As stated in the introduction, the Tarnished were previously settlers of the Lands Between, but they were expelled for an unexplainable cause after a while. As a result of the Elden Ring being broken and none of the demigods stepping up to take on the position of the Elden Lord, the Greater Will became anxious and resurrected the Tarnished, many of whom have been declared dead and brought back to life in this process. Other human beings you encounter in the game, notably those that are found in the Round Table Hold, are similarly tarnished in one way or another. They too aspire to the position of the Elden Lord, or at least that is what you've been told is the ultimate goal. There are obviously others who do not agree with this. At the end of the day, it is a very confusing story, but at least now we have a better understanding of the world of the Elden Ring.